welcome back. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend and you got some rest and got to do some things that are fun while you stayed at home and washed your hands and kept your hands away from your face. So we're back at it. We're ready to go. Monday morning, you should have your math morning packet in front of you. Please make sure you're working on week number 23. That's where we are. So go ahead and open up there and let's go ahead and check it. If you need to pause me to go get your stuff, do it and come back. Okay, welcome back. So you should have your morning work packet, and the first problem is actually what we're going to be working on today, adding mixed numbers. Now, if you remember from Friday, from that amazing lesson with Mrs. Berry and me, I hope you had fun watching it and enjoyed it, and hopefully learned a little something about mixed numbers as well. Don't forget, if you want to make a mixed up snack, to go ahead and find that Google Doc link that I have on the assignment page today, and go ahead and do yours. Again, it can be done anytime. It doesn't have to be done today. Just have fun with it, and I can't wait to see what you come up with. Ava's already asked me if we could make some of your recipes. So who knows, you may see some videos of Ava making your recipes, so make them good and yummy. All right, so back to morning work. 13 and 5/8 plus 7/8. Like I said, I like to write mine up and down. I like to write mine vertically. And so what we're going to do that is, you're going to add your fraction column first. All right, so we're going to add that. 5/8 plus 7/8 equals 12/8. What do you notice about 12/8? It's an improper fraction. Okay, we'll come back to that in a minute. Then we have 13 plus, this is kind of like a 0 right here. There's no whole number here, so then we just add 13 plus 0, and we get 13. Now, this is an improper fraction. We can't let it like that. We have to break it down and decompose it to pull out those whole numbers that I told you were hiding in improper fractions. So we need to figure out how many wholes we have. So let's do that. So if I have 8/8 plus, how many more 8s is going to get to 12/8? 4/8. So if I decompose 12/8, I get 8/8 and 4/8. This is my whole. So now I have 13 and 1 and 4/8. So if I put that all together, I'm going to have 14 and 4/8. Now I bet you're looking at that going, wait, Mrs. Dunlap, I know what this 4/8 is. What is it? It's equal to 1/2. So you could also write it 14 and 1/2. When I look at your paper, I would be happy with this, and I would be happy with this. Either way is fine. Okay? Let's look at number 2. List all the factors of 34. So if you remember, factor is what we multiply together. This is my product, so now I need all the factors to get to this product. And we always start with 1. So we go 1 times 34. Now right away, just by looking at 34, you should know if 2 is going to work. Is it going to work? Yeah, because it's an even number. So we know 2 is going to work. We just have to figure out what's going to be. 2 times what? 2 times what? If you're not sure and you're stuck, you could always just divide and figure it out that way. 2 goes into 1 time. I subtract, I get 14. 2 goes into 14 7 times. It's 17. Is 3 going to work? No. 4? Mm-mm. 5? Mm-mm. Doesn't end in a 5 or a 0. 6? No. 7? No. 8? No. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16? No. 17? Yeah, but we already have it. So we have 4 factors. 1, 2, 17, and 34. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 factors, which means, is it prime or composite? Composite. Good job. All right, let's try the next one. All right, the next problem says determine the 13th shape in the pattern. So you have a star, a square, and an oval. We need to know which shape is going to be number 13. Well, I could do this a few different ways. All right, I could just count. It takes a while. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, Oh, right here. So that's one way to do it. Other way you could do it that might be a little quicker, especially if this number gets to be really high, like what's the 54th number or the 54th shape, you could use your multiples. Alright, you know this is going to be 3, and you know every time you count it's going to be a multiple. So we could do 3, 6, 9, 12. That's really close to 13, so I know this has to be 12. I could count on one more 13. So you could do it either way. 13, though, is a star. The 13th shape is a star. And then your last one for morning work is those patterns that we've been talking about. So I just watch them. So we have 6/10 plus 5/100 equals 65/100. Now remember, when you have denominators that are different, the way to add them is you have to make them the same. Okay? So if we make this into 100ths, then we're going to have to change my numerator too. Okay? Because 6/10 equals 60/100. And I know that because I know I go from 10 to 100 by multiplying 10. I go from 6 to 60 by multiplying 10. Okay? So I know 60/100 plus 5/100 is 65/100. Your denominators have to be the same. So the second part of that is 5/10 plus 2/100 equals something over 100. So again, you've got different denominators, so you have to make them the same. Not bad. I'm just going to multiply 5/10 times 10, and that will give me 50 over 100. That's my equivalent fraction. So I'm just going to change 5/10 into 50/100. Okay? So 50/100 plus 2/100 is 52/100. Now remember, there's a different way to write fractions. We can write them as decimals. Okay? You have 50/100. So watch this. 50/100 plus 2/100. This is where it gets a little tricky. Watch what I do. I have to have 2 places after my decimal point to make it into 100. Okay? So I have to put the decimal, I have to put a 0 here to make this only 2. If it's 100 for decimals, you have to have 2 places after the decimal. So 2/100 equals 52/100. All right. So there you go. There's your morning work. I need you to have out in front of you pages in your math book 509 and 510. So go ahead and find those and pull those out. We're going to use those this morning. Make sure you have some scrap paper and a pencil. Go ahead and pause me and come back when you're ready. Go. Okay, so you should have everything in front of you. So the learning target that we've been working on, let me find it here, is I can add and subtract fractions and mixed numbers with like denominators. Today we're going to be focused on adding the mixed numbers. So if you remember, mixed number is a whole number and a fraction. So if I have, let me take one from your book. I'm going to do number 10 from page 509 if you want to follow along. 2 3/5 plus 1 3/5. Okay. Again, if yours are written in your book horizontally, I just like to write mine vertically. It doesn't matter. Whichever way you like better, it doesn't really matter. When you write it though, go ahead and add your fractions first. Alright, kind of think of it like you would do 32 plus 46. You're going to do your ones column first, right? Well, do your fraction columns first. That way you can get in that habit of still going the direction you normally would go when you're dealing with just whole numbers. Okay? So 3/5 plus 3/5 is 6/5. And 2 plus 1 is 3. So what do you notice about 6/5? Hopefully you notice it's an improper fraction because you've got your numerator is bigger than your denominator. Okay, so we need to pull out that whole number that's in there. And when we do that, we want to always keep your denominator the same. So if I'm starting working with fifths, then I need to end working with fifths. So the whole number that I'm going to pull out is going to be 5/5. Is there another whole number in there, or are we done? We're done, because I can only do one more fifth to get to 6/5. So I have 5/5 plus 1/5, and that is going to give me 6/5. 5/5, 1/5, 6/5. It's the same amount, I'm just decomposing it. I'm pulling out my whole number. So here's my whole number right here. Okay? Now I have 3, 1 whole, so 3 wholes, 1 whole, and a fraction, 1/5, and I have to put them all together. So when I put them all together, I have 4 and 1/5. Okay? I had 3 from here, 2 plus 1 is 3. I had 6/5, and I had to change that to a mixed number. So my mixed number became 1 whole and 1/5. I put it together with the 3 wholes I already have, and I have 4 and 1/5. So when I add 2 and 3/5 plus 1 and 3/5, my final answer is 4 and 1/5. Okay? Let's try another one. Alright, I'm going to skip over to number 12 in your book. So look at number 12 with me. It's 4 and 9/10. And we're going to add onto it 3 and 7/10. Alright, so once again, we're going to add our fractions first. 9/10 plus 7/10 is 16/10. And then I add my whole numbers. 4 plus 3 is 7. What do you notice about 16/10? It's an improper fraction. Okay, so now we know we need to pull out our whole number. We're dealing with tenths, so we know our whole number is also going to be tenths. So what's that going to be? 10/10, that's my whole. Now how many more tenths do I need to get to 16/10? Take a second, think about it. What's going to go here? It's going to be 6. Because 10/10 and 6/10 is going to give me 16/10. So I just changed 16/10, decomposed it to 10/10 and 6/10. You know that my 10/10 is a 1 whole. So now what do I have to put together? I have my whole number 7, my whole number 1, and then 6/10. So let's try to do it together. Ready? 7 plus 1 equals 8. And my fraction I still have left is 6/10. So when I add 4 and 9/10 plus 3 and 7/10, I'm going to get 7 and 16/10, which then, written with proper fractions, equals 8 and 6/10. All right? This is not easy, so you have got to make sure that you get in touch with me if you're having problems. We can meet, we can video chat, I can help you through it, we can do some practice problems together, but you've got to let me know that you're having trouble. I don't know because I'm not there with you. That's the hardest part about this whole online thing is I can't see you. I can't see those looks like you're crazy. I don't get it that you give to me a lot. But that's how I know that you need help, or you're raising your hand and I know you need help. We can't do that right now. So you have to email me and we'll set up a time and I'm happy to help you and practice with you. Okay? So I'm going to write number 13 on the board. You're going to pause me and you're going to try number 13 from your book, either on your scrap paper or in your book. Use scrap paper if you need to rewrite it. It gives you more room. All right, so we're all going to try number 13 from your book. Pause me. Ready? Go. Okay, welcome back. So hopefully you gave it a try. Okay? So 5 and 3/4 plus 2 and 3/4. We always add our fractions first. So let's do that. 3/4 plus 3/4 is 6/4. 5 plus 2 is 7. Now what do you notice about 6/4? It's improper. So we have to pull out that whole number. So if we're dealing with fourths in our fraction, then we're going to just go ahead and make our whole number also fourths. So what's my whole number have to be? That's going to be a 1. It's got to be 4/4. Now we're going to decompose it. So how many fourths do I still have left to get up to 6/4? 2. So 4/4 plus 2/4 is 6/4. Okay, and you know that this 4/4 is really 1 whole. So now we have to put it together. We have a 7 whole and a 1 whole, so that's going to equal 8 wholes. And then we have our fraction, which is 2/4. Now I know you're rock stars and you know what this 2/4 is. What is that? Also 1/2. So you could have also written it 8 and 1/2. I'd be happy with either way. Okay, good job. Are you kind of getting it? I hope, maybe. We're going to try one more. I want you to pause me. Oh, and let's try number 11. See what you can do with number 11. So go ahead and pause me, go back to number 11 and see what you can do with it. Ready? Go. Okay, did you try number 11? Let's see what you came up with. So we always do fractions first. 5/12 plus 7/12 is 12/12. 4 plus 1 equals 5. Now what do you notice about the 12/12? Technically this is still considered an improper fraction. Even though this is not greater than this, it's still the same number. Because then you know right off the bat that 12/12 is equal to what? 1 whole. So now I have 5 wholes and 1 whole. Do I have a fraction left? Not this time. So I just have to put my wholes together and my final answer is 6. And sometimes you will just get a whole number when you're done with everything. Lots of times it's going to be a mixed number, but sometimes it will be a whole number. So I hope you got 6, and if you didn't, that's okay. So here's what you're going to do for me. First things first. If this is still hard for you, it's okay. We're going to be working on this for the next couple of days. Okay, so no worries, no stress. All right, I do want you to try an exit slip for me just so I can kind of get an idea of how everybody's doing with this. If it's being super hard or super easy, that'll kind of give me an idea. Okay, so when I tell you to, you're going to go ahead and close me down, and then you're going to do your exit slip. Now, some of you are not getting your Dreambox lessons in, okay? Don't forget, you need to get 5 lessons in, and I have that built in to math time, but a lot of you are also doing Dreambox for core time. I am fine with once you get your 5 lessons in, you're done with Dreambox. If you want to keep going on it, great. If you don't, that's okay too. But you have got to at least get 5 lessons in each week. Okay, and I'm going to be watching that. A lot of you struggled with that last week, so make this week a good goal. You need to get those 5 Dreambox lessons done. When you hit 5, woo, I'm good. All right, then you can work on your Lexia lessons a little bit and get those done too. All right, so please don't forget those. Some of you are spending like hours on Dreambox. Not necessary, okay? As long as you get your 5 lessons in each week, I'm good with that, okay? I sure do miss you. I'd rather be seeing you and your happy little faces and give you hugs and head pats and, flick your ears or whatever, versus just staring at a camera. It's not as fun. I sure do miss you. I hope you all are doing okay, staying healthy, wash your hands, keep your hands away from your face. Email me. I miss you. Love you. Bye.